What is that, love?
Your backpack.
Thank you. Ooh. Hello, Brazy. Hey, mate, how are you going? Coach is doing great, thank you very much. The coach is doing great. How is things on your end, bud? Whoa, what have I done? I quit my job and I'm moving an hour and a half away tomorrow. Wait, you quit your job. Is it a good or bad news? Okay, something is not right. I'm hearing double echo. I've got a ChessCom tab somewhere else open. But I do not. It's great news. Sweet. Sound is weird. I'm happy for you, man. Care to analyze comment on any of the live games at the ANU Open? That's an idea. That is definitely an idea. Wait, I forgot that I'm playing, what do you call this thing? Bullet. And I just blundered. Yeah, take f6 and then knight d5 wins the pawn. I missed it. Or rather, I was aware, but I was an idiot. Okay, let's resign this. Something is not right with the audio, and I can't figure out what it is. It messes with my head. Maybe it's just quiet. Is the audio good for you guys? Oh, hello. Sound good. Okay. Okay. What? Hello? Hey, Philly. GG. Alright, I'll play one more and then stream begins. I'll pay money to people who could explain to me why they go take and then go all the way back home and think that this is a better option than playing literally any Sicilians under the sun. Like, sometimes people do wild stuff. That's a good move, though. What is the topic for today? Ah, the YouTube title is correct. I forgot to adjust the Twitch title. So today I'm going to do sub games. If the subs would like to play a game against me, I will do that. And sub game analysis. Knight b4 is a threat, I reckon. Let's go. It looks pretty. That was a mouse slip instead of rook c2. Yeah, the sound is in my headphones is very, very distant. Oh. You unplug your audio, but only halfway. So it actually works, but not really. Oh, hello, mate in 2. Yeah, well, I found an old newspaper from the 19th century Hungary where the bishop is stylized like a messenger. He has a feather in his hat, not a cross. Yeah, so in different languages, the bishop has different names, and often they do have that function. I think in some of the Nordic languages, like Swedish and Danish, I think it's called an officer. So yeah, the names of pieces have changed a little bit over time, although the main characteristics remain the same. But to associate the bishop with the clergy, if you think about the origin of the game... Oh, okay, add. You need to fix that, Mr. Sergeant. And I will greet the YouTubers, by the way. Oh, there's no one to greet on YouTube? Hello, what? That's very depressing. Oh yeah, I know this. I know this. So I was saying, Sergeant, in case your ad is already gone, that in different languages, often you will find that the bishop has different names and not always associated with the clergy. Like... officer and stuff like that, so that's not unusual. And what I was going to say before I read that you had an ad is that if you think about it, chess coming from India, obviously the names of the pieces had nothing to do whatsoever with the clergy. Well, given that the game of chess is older than the Catholic faith, it's a fairly obvious thing to say that, yeah, it is quite possible. Alrighty, so let's see what's happening, guys, in the Esports World Cup. I might make a YouTube video out of this, by the way. So, can someone send me a link where you can actually see the draw? Apparently, game 4 of... God bless Eric and Aman for commentation for 400 hours, several days in a row. Such a shitty event no one cares about. You mean this one here? Yeah, I have to be careful about how I express my opinion about this, because I might make a YouTube video about this in the hope that people will give a shit. Whereas the reality is that when I see the photo of Alexander Grishuk rocking up to a chess tournament with a keyboard under his arm and the mouse, looking utterly confused, I'm like, yeah, fair enough. Like, what the hell, man? I thought this was a chess player, so Who would have thought maybe he should rock up with a chessboard and a clock, if anything. Yeah, this was pathetic, really, but whatever. Just whatever. My opinion on the matter is that chess is not an esport. Forget about that. However, given that we are there, we should be happy. It's another outlet where we celebrate, where we celebrate too, but where we can popularize chess. So, chess definitely wins from it. At least as far as gaining and garnering audience and greater interest. I think it is a giant step toward the popcornization of chess, which I don't like. But since everyone is going to call me a gatekeeper and other moronic tags will be attached to me, like, I don't know, what is the other one? Nah, just let's go with gatekeeping. I'm gonna stop there. But, yeah. It's like, imagine when Messi and Ronaldo rocks up. Oh, Elitist, that's it, Elitist, thank you. Messi and Ronaldo would rock up to a Champions League final with a keyboard and a mouse and played it out in FIFA. So someone told me, I think that game 4 was brilliant of Aronian-Esipenko. Ooh, hello, 96, cute match. Chess is doing fine in China and India, that's correct, yes. Okay, this game is dog poop. By the way, what is the time control in this slugfest? I agree, Patcast, that is my view too, that for those who have got more than room temperature IQ, chess doesn't need to be made more interesting and more fun. The frick is this opening, Mr. Esipenko? This is not how chess is meant to be played. Like 10 moves out and black is better already. Like, what are you doing, bruv? He hasn't got my center course, very clearly. Center is not in his chessable library. Disappointed, honestly. Yeah, that's exactly, I think, a very good summary, Rangao, that for chess fans who like chess for its depth, it's not really for us. For people who enjoy watching, you know, brain dead flagging and the drama and not understanding a single move, but they definitely are on board with understanding that they're playing, you know, really fast moves and the clock is ticking down. For them, this is the ultimate outlet and platform to enjoy chess. Well, chess. Okay, I don't see what's so great about this game. Can someone tell me what the time control is for this tournament? Or where I could find the information about this? $10. Holy Jesus. Just make sure that you don't give them any increment, because then there would be no drama about flagging. Speaking of which, I heard that Anish pulled a dirty flag on Neiman. Wait, what was this? Good old Giaco Piano. Oh boy! Check this. G5 Blunderino, he sucked in the mate. Instant knight f5, and Hans is cooking. Hans is cooking. And instead, he went G5. He couldn't keep it in his pants, and Anish reminded him that, buddy, we are still in the hotel lobby. It's not the room yet, so keep it in your pants, bruv. Oops. Okay. Ouchie. Fuck. And he ultimately got outmuscled. That's a very neat exchange sack, though. And now the power of the bishops, in particular this dirt. Oh boy. Okay. I dig this, but this... Yeah, this wasn't the flag game, though. Can you guys stop challenging me, please, right now? Oh! That is a neat tactico, though. You have to give it to good old Anish. Rook takes, pawn is pinned, rook takes, bishop check, rook blocks, other rook falls. Ouch. Carnage City. Okay, game 2. What? Oh, I see. So Anish won the first, then they drew. Wait, I'm confused now. Oh, and then the flag. Oh! Wait, what? Oh, hello, Courtney. I hope we are still friends. I think I did a reasonably good job on those videos, honestly. Like, I think that I did get to the bottom of a lot of things that you may be able to put to use. Okay, I don't understand how this went down. So who won this game? Anish won with black. Oh, that was the flag. That was the flag. Same opening as the first one. Fair enough. 86 Bunny Ears, hello. Welcome to Bunny Ears City. Yeah, Anish got lost out of those two Giaco pianos with black consistently. Like, that's impressive on his level. But he plays the same opening twice, and in both cases he comes out of the opening pretty ordinary at the very least. But I would say on his level it's lost. And for the second time, we're missing a beautiful opportunity to sack and revitalize some of the pieces. But this is so hard to believe in for black because you're down a piece still. Yeah, Anish is getting absolutely, thoroughly, beautifully outplayed here by Hans. Oops. Is anyone watching this? Hello? Why do you hate chess being popular? I don't think you're listening to me, brother. I love chess being popular. I don't know what you're talking about. And hello, Michael. That is a gorgeous move. Tuck, tuck, here, 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 and here. That was sexy. Have a look at it again. Bishop f6. What a move. This is glory. And here too, Hans could have gone, let's simplify to an endgame, which should be close to winning for white at least. Oh, good old Kramnik. Good old Kramnik. But okay, this one is a bit too much calculation to conduct in a 10-0, so I understand why he didn't do it. Oh, good old Vladimir with the long hair. Iconic shot. Absolutely iconic shot. I mean, how do you not resign this? What's the time? Hans has got 125 to 50. I think I would beat Anish from here with that much time. Why did he do that? I would just go king f4 here, no? Rook d4 and then put the bishop somewhere safe. So that when they check me down, I just keep coming closer, no? Isn't this the easiest win here? Maybe not. Yeah, Hans is choking here like crazy. And in the process, he went down in time a lot. 5 seconds to 9. This had to be an absolute drama. Who was the commentary team, by the way? I'm curious. Also, why don't you come down here? There is no check. Hello? That was filth. Oh, really? The chess bros are doing the commentary. Okay, that's interesting. Wow. Okay. All right. All right. $400 each day. I don't understand what that means, but I'll take your word for it, Rangao, because you know things better than I do. They did have, I saw somewhere on Twitter that they raked in like a 40k viewership, which is pretty decent. They gotta tell you that I was mostly watching Tikari, Ahmed Ali, hey. That I was mostly watching StarCraft 2 because, contrary to chess, that's actually an esport. How are you going, Ahmed? No, I did not say that. Ayanoki, I don't say that. I love chess. And I love the fact that it's popular. Yeah, I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a YouTube... No, sorry, let me restate this again. If you are a Twitch subscriber, today I'm going to conduct game analysis free of charge for you. Meanwhile, I'm also going to take a look at the ANU Open. Very briefly. So yeah, I am happy to play games or analyze your games, or if your request is within reason, then subs keys. Sabinskis are going to get the love. Yes, that's correct, Ahmed Ali. He did give a billion subs indeed. I have seen him since once or twice, here and there. Alright, so while we are making up our minds about game analysis and the likes, why don't we do something productive? Courtney, today is your day to shine, lady, because if you have any other games, I'm going to be very happy to critically analyze them. So if you have produced any masterpieces since last time I looked at your games, then chuck them in the chat, lady. Chuck it in. Well, then remember them, whichever, or maybe it's stored by... Alright, Brazy! Brazy is the first one who is going to be going under the critical eye of the coach. Yeah, let's go. Oh no, let's go there rather. Okay, Professor Brazy! Behind the black piece is sporting 19.8, almost 19 hundo. Hello. Oh, Mr. Yusuf in the house. Yo, indeed. I would not recommend anyone nowadays to buy ChessBase. Absolutely no. There is only better ways to spend your money on chess than ChessBase. Not only is it the shittest chess product that has ever been produced in terms of quality, maintenance, customer service, the whole lot, but it's completely outdated in the sense that now there are so many things freely available on the internet that it just is becoming more and more obsolete and absolutely outrageously overpriced. So don't do that. Alright, so Caro-Kann opening traps. Yeah, the whole opening is a trap. Don't do it. That's where the trap is, my friend. It's like when you go to Thailand and the lady looks so too pretty to be true. That's a trap in itself. You don't need to analyze the situation. Okay. For pros, yes. Pros, they still use this. I use it too, but like currently I think they are up to version 18 or 19 and I am on a 13 version and there is absolutely no chance I will ever buy anything beyond that. Okay, so this is Brazy's game. I generally, I don't know. Let's just go with D, this is fine. E5 please. Okay, knight f6 is good too. What should we play as e4 versus e4? What? You're asking me like, hey boss, like, no Caro-Kann? What should we do then? OMG, like, bro, like, have you ever seen me telling anyone ever to play the Caro-Kann with black? My God. Just give me a second, I need to answer this. Yeah, like, anything? Who told you to play the Caro-Kann anyway? Which, for the record, is a totally fine and sound opening. It is just boring as batched. Okay, here we go. Knight f6. Why did I know that that was straight out of the Levy school? Right away. As soon as you said Caracalla, I'm like, here we go. And I bet you played the Vienna with white behind e4. Sergeant, probably both. Okay, back to you, Brazy. You are doing great, buddy. So far, this opening is looking absolutely splendid. That's the first dog poo move. Don't do this, man. You want to play... You want to play e5. And rather sooner than later. So the first thing that you want to ask yourself is, can I go e5? And this requires a little bit of a ballsy calculation because it's hanging. So after knight e5, you need to ensure that knight takes e4 works. And the way you ensure it is that you calculate your guts out. As soon as possible, Brazy, is the answer. I never know when to play e5, every time when it's possible. So the correct question to ask is it possible now? Answer, yes. Because this knight is loose. And now we have got the rampant knights. But this knight can only take pawns next, whereas you can take knight. Which means that almost certainly we are going to come out on top in material when we look into these lines where everyone is eating everything. Like now they take back, you take back, and you are up a piece. Look, once again, Ahmed Ali, there is nothing wrong with c6, right? Absolutely nothing. But I find this a little bit passive. One of the openings that I would describe as not necessarily the greatest fun. England. Oh my god. Right, so e5 was a great move here. Can I ask somebody to ban Rangao, please, for 10 minutes? Maybe Rangao himself can ban himself. Okay, so here you played bishop e6, which then gets kicked by knight g5, and we are acting like it didn't get kicked. Not a fan, plus you walked headfirst into f4 e5. What the heck, man? Queen d6. Right into f4 e5. Why would you do that? Mouse slip, for sure. I mean, quite frankly, if I were black here, I would have gone like, messed up, coach, guilty as charged, let's back the f off. Because your greatest asset at the moment is the two bishops. Noor, are you going out, love? Huh? Yeah, because I was muted because I was talking to my wife. So yeah, bishop d7. Pull the bishop back, boss. Queen d6 was a very... Actually, that was almost correct, Joey Fred. I said make sure that you bring home cake. Yeah, f4 played. Shout out to the opponent who's playing good chess, by the way. h6, and now we just lost the game with e5. So, yeah, basically it seems to me, Brazy, that you are unfamiliar with the most important aspect of this opening, which is the opening. So you play e5, they can't take it. They usually go queen d2, and here there are a number of ways you can play it, but I'm just going to show you the most basic plan that I like to do the most, and that is the reroute of the knight from here to here. It sounds crazy, and it's despite that, a super easy concept to carry out. This is what it looks like. 98. I go like knight h2. You go knight c7. They go whatever. You take it. You knight e6 and in you go. If they don't play for f4, it becomes even stronger. So let's say knight here. You go f6. They take now. You take with the hoppity, because why would you waste your king move on it when it's the plan anyway? And the longer they muck around, the worse it gets for white. So now you're just going to chuck a knight in on d4 and happy days. This was a Rosolimo Sicilian. Exactly, never move backwards. So when you do this, you just turn the board around so it looks like a forward move. Okay, so f4, we missed a game-winning fork. So did the opponent. We are still completely dead here. Okay, now we are even more dead. Why did you take this? I'm so confused, Chief. Why are we taking this? I would just move the queen somewhere. I don't like this move at all. Okay, chat, what would you do here for black? What would you do here for black? You are in a worse position. You know you are worse. You would like to somehow play moves that annoy your opponent. It makes the conversion a little bit harder. What is your move? Knight takes e4, d takes e4, and we resigned. Let's not do that. If I may very politely ask. c4, says Joey Fred. Bingo, baby. This is your move. Why? Because this is the only move on the board, more or less, that puts a degree of pressure, tiny, but still pressure, on your opponent, and doesn't allow, this particular move, your opponent to just completely carry out a carnage, game-winning, super excitingly boring kingside attack. Hello, Sushi. So, what you want to do in positions like this, when you are clearly on the back foot, is to try to throw the spanner in the works one way or another. Oh, thank you. I will actually make a command for that collab. So c4, the idea being that you want to pester the d pawn, right? So for example, I go queen d2, and here cut players do what? Oh my god, my pawn is hanging. No, you don't give a single toss. What you do is that you start pressuring here, and then rook d8 even. And if I take here, take. And all of a sudden, the tactical skirmish works out to be in our favor. Now, this is absolutely unfathomable kind of thinking below a certain level, but the mental, as in the tactical justification, but the thinking of trying to disturb and bother and pester the opponent rather than just waiting to be killed is definitely the concept that you want to take away from this. Let me very quickly, guys, share with you a great piece of news that I forgot to do, which is that I have got an ongoing collaboration with none other than Mr. Chess Vibes. And our first video on his channel has already been released, and that's where it is. Welcome in, Mr. Colin Lee. Yeah, exactly. So when you try to principalize it, it's again very logical. We're getting absolutely slaughtered on the king side, so we need to seek some sort of counterplay elsewhere. The problem with king h7 is that it doesn't put up any resistance. You're trying to put fires out in a position where it's doable to put the fire out, but it's really not the priority as best as we can help it. Okay, wait. Where do I go for commands on Streamlabs, guys? Help me out. Is it chat box? No. What is it? Streaming essentials. The fuck are commands? Commands. Oh, here we go. We found them. Oh, thank you for the subski, my friend. Thank you very, very much. Alright, let me just do some quick housekeeping as I update the title quick. And I'm also going to update the command. So Chess Vibes Collab is the command that I am adding now. What? Oh, okay, we're good. Oh, thank you, Joey, for the sub. Right, so King H7 played. Queen F3. Rook D8, Rook F3. So this is exactly what you wanted to avoid at all costs. This is so beautiful to see when you are reflecting upon it in hindsight. So White here wants to do a massive pile up on the F file, and once that has been accomplished, we are strategically irreparably dead lost because we're getting killed on the king side and we have no counterplay anywhere else. So basically, when you have enough time and good chess awareness, you realize that this is your last chance in this game to try to make things happen. And if you play two moves that are at best can be described as pretty but useless, then that's it. Like, none of these contributed to your position or to the enhancement of qualities in your position whatsoever. We defended a pawn that wasn't hanging, and we brought the rook to the 5 when it was too late. On paper, they are both logical and clear moves, but in reality, it just didn't cut it. Wait a tick. Isn't there a rook f6 check here? Can't we defend that with this and actually introduce at least a semi-threat? I disagree with the notion of resignation. You don't resign this. But you must be aware of the fact that you are likely to lose. Those are two very, very different things. You definitely do not resign this. But after queen e4, queen g6, hello? Like stopping the discovery and setting up a semi-battery on the g file? That's a textbook case of when not to resign. And I can blunder the game away here with rook f7. I take this and I take this. And all of a sudden it's gone. We just won the game. If there ever was a top point in this game when we should not resign, it's right now after queen g6. Granted, after bishop d2, we are just as dead as we were before. But, yeah, no. Stuff resignation. Not at all. Not at all. Alright, so we took that. We got checked here. Hello, your opponent needs rook f6 check, winning the queen. This is why you don't resign. Oh my. Oh my. I'm not even sure if we are worse anymore, to be honest. I mean, hello, now you can just check the queen down and enter an endgame. What is going on here? So now you have a choice to make. You can take b2 or you can play rook g7. And I'm not sure which one is better. What I'm sure of is that you should not lose this game. Not a chance. So you went take rook g7. Which unfortunately is a blunder. Can't anyone tell me why this move is a blunder? Excuse me, oops, that wasn't intended. No, not quite. Rook f7. Not quite. And don't forget that knight f6 is not really playable because it's covered. No, it's actually a different idea altogether from anything that we have seen so far in this game, which is why it's not so easy to find. Rook e6 it is. Indeed. Rook e6 it is. And we're dropping multiple pawns. Of which h6 is the more painful one. By the way, I would like to reflect on one thing, Brazy, which I'm pretty sure that you will agree with me. Your memory of this game before you submitted it was that you played the opening, you didn't know what to do, there came a kingside attack, and you just got killed. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that this is your perception of this game. Whereas the reality, in very strong contrast, is this. You played the opening, you didn't know what to do, you got absolutely slaughtered in the early middle game, except your opponent royally effed it up right here, and in fact the game went into a dead even endgame. Dead even. Like, your narrative casually omitted that little detail that your opponent completely botched the kingside attack, allowed a queen trade, and traded down into a dead even endgame. I want you to reflect on this. You play rook g7 and you are not losing this game ever again in your life. So actually, I take back what I said. I don't think that these two are of the same value, because after this, it's very difficult to see how black could lose this. Whereas after bishop b2, rook e7, we need to be very, very, very precise in how we play this. Like, according to the engine, our only way to definitely hold the draw is c4, which, apart from a hanging pawn, puts another on prey, while another two can be attacked at the same time. Let's just agree that that is a little bit on the wild end of things. Kind of irrational to expect anyone to find this. Thanks, Seb, for tuning in, buddy. However, if you had played rook g7, we would have walked away with the draw. So I really want you to just consider this when you're thinking about how this game went. That you had golden opportunities in abundance. Correct, Philai, correct. Oh boy, yeah, you're right. By the way, the c4 theme is so omnipresent in this position. For example, here after the correct king g8 takes rook a7, we have c4 again. It's too slow, Professor. Too slow. Way too slow. Rook check, check, check here. Rook e1, check, take. Black might even be better here already. First of all, it is a non-threat. Right? I go here and yeah, the plan is gone. c4 undermines the knight on e4. Okay, so how did we lose this? We went a5. They played g4, semi-decent. That's bad. We should be playing king g8 here. It removes the defender of the knight, so it becomes loose. So yeah, now I'm afraid that after take rook e6, we just lost the game again. Which is why you so badly want to kick this way, so that when the bishop comes back, it defends the pawn. Whereas now after rook g8, if I take it, you take back with the bishop, then this move was absolutely a waste of space. And now I can just go after this guy, among other things. h5. Do you want me to show you a move that people wouldn't consider, and actually that's the best move in the position? This is a typical way of the amateur's mind. They look at knight rook takes f7. And they go like, oh, after knight takes, the knight has a discovery. I can't do that. Yes, you can. Just like I showed you in the Hans Niemann Geary game, my first instinct here for black to try to hold on would be to take this and then walk right into the middle of the discovery. Because there is nothing meaningful in range. If you take h6, I can take that. If you go after the pawn, that doesn't count because I'm hitting big boys. And yes, you can take this, but now this feels very, very loose. Right? My king has been activated. And yeah, happy chappy. This is as good as it has never been. In fact, the only reason why we are not winning by force here due to this move is because black has white has a tactic here with knight here. They also have a cute tactic here, but this might not. Oh, this works too actually, because after king g6 there is check. So if I take, they take. Yeah, that's the idea. So there are some geometrical ideas here, but even so, like let's say you go here, I don't have to take this. Right, I can just defend my pawn, and now you have got pieces all over the shop, very poorly coordinated. I almost prefer black here. This would be a perfect example for piece activity in my endgame course. Knight d6 check is the engine's favorite move, by the way, with the idea of retaining some degree of coordination between pieces. The knight on c4 is going to find a good square, then I can start hitting pawns. So this way it's quite problematic. Now it feels like the best idea is to run in with the king to try to create checkmate threats. But after king g2, I think we have got troubles here. Hello, the Cavalier! How is d4, d5 going, Chief? What is the winning move that white is missing here, chat? Hello, Landau, Professor Landau. Colin Lee, yes and no. People obsess about stars a bit too much. Below a certain level, I believe in no styles. I believe in just good moves and bad moves. Like generally speaking, when people try to identify themselves as a certain star below 2000 rating, it usually means that they identify themselves as positional, not because they like it, but because they suck at tactics, which is why I'm against this. And vice versa, by the way. But typically that's the more common out of the two. Because they think that it's interchangeable. Like it's a concept on amateur level that if I suck at tactics, I can still do fine by just understanding positional chess really, really well, and then I'm gonna be, you know, killing it. Nah, you won't. Thank you, King Charles. You don't have to praise me. You know, I didn't mean to provoke that. Mind you, I will ban you immediately if you don't. Yeah, knight c4. Well done. And this is the key pawn, right? If b6 is lost, the entire batch becomes loose. Like if you lose any other in this pawn formation, you're still fine. But if I remove this, all three becomes isolated and thus pathetically weak. Wasn't quite fun by the opponent. Okay, so here we are not playing bishop c7. Like, this is something, guys, that above 1500, everyone should know as a pattern. That bishop knight, like this, is domination. The knight cannot go to any of these squares because the bishop covers both diagonals. Like, this is a move that you play instinctively. Like, this is your instinct, irrespective of the rest of the position, and you only overrule this move if you can find a very, very, very strong reason to do so. And here, additionally to the domination, it actually defends the pawn on b6, so it has to be the move. Yeah, that was a painful defeat, Mr. Brazy. That was a painful defeat, one that was definitely avoidable. Yeah, the London YouTube video, of course, is not applicable to you, Cavalier, because you have got better piece placement than those guys do, but I wanted to demonstrate that even that is fixable. Ahmed Ali Kasparian is a very, very famous endgame study composer, and our good friend Filet Fish was joking there, or was being used some irony. Because Kasparian is definitely not consumable for that level, or most of it isn't anyway. That's like saying to a Year 2 student who likes to read that they should read Oscar Wilde. Alright. Who is next? What is next? Cavalier, have you got a good game, buddy? Mr. Cavalier, I'm doing sub-game analysis and you are a sub. I would love to see some of your masterpieces in my course. Smurfette in the house. Hello, Smurfette. I saw you the other day that you may or may not have invaded Mark's dwelling and you started streaming from Casa del Eserman. Very impressive stuff there. Very impressive stuff there. So, Mr. Cavalier, do you have what it takes to chuck in a game? Do I have the lowest elo here? I don't think so, Ahmed Ali, but generally speaking, my viewership is very, very highly rated, yes. Out of curiosity, Mr. Ali, would you want to share a game of yours, although you don't appear to be a Twitch subscriber? But since you declared yourself to be a Levy student, I would like to have a look at what's cooking. Brazy, you are full of shit. I just analyzed the game where it shows, in fact, still on the screen, your rating is 1900. Oh, here we go. Smurfette! Wow! Coming in strong. Got a game from Makagonov. I would love to see Mr. Makagonov. Let's go, baby. Maybe I should make a YouTube video that could go viral. Levy student plays chess like this. That would be an epic clickbait. It's actually not a bad game at all. This is not a bad game at all. You made a very big mistake though by sending a win to me. What I thought was gonna be a win at least. It is a win. Interesting game. Okay, I'm gonna start with the Cavalier. Giving some time to Mr. AA to become a subscriber of the channel. Oh, there he is. There he is. All right, Mr. Cavalier, you are on, baby. Thank you so much, Charles, you legend. Oh, thank you. I already got it, Rengao. I converted it too, so I was beating you. So, Charles, I'm guessing we are black. Oh, fuck this shit. Are we black, Charles? Panamera coming in strong. Cheers, buddy. Yes, Charles is black against Mr. Cones. Who the heck is that? Charles, who is Mr. Cones? Hang on a second. What do you mean you are meant to play c5 and not e5? e5 is perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, e5 is the high T move. Oh, he's a viewer on your stream. Sorry, I thought that you were a viewer on someone else's stream. Apologies. Never mind. Throw out your prep and play this instead. What is your prep based on? I wouldn't go as far as that, Mr. Yusim. But yeah, I'm curious what it's based on. But anyway, let's go. So G3. Yeah, so in fact, I tend to play here knight a6 first. And then figure out what's cooking after white's next move, depending on what they do here. But knight h5 is fine. After g3, however, I would not hesitate to play knight a6 here. a5 is a bit slow for my liking. But let's move on. This is still playable. Bishop e2, knight back, yep. g4, yep. Knight a6, correct. g5, I'm not a big fan of this move for white, but okay. Yeah, but King Charles, that's a bit like saying that if the Ottoman army had nuclear bombs, they would have conquered Europe too. Yeah, but no. You're not wrong about the concept, but the conclusion is a little bit too, how do I put it? Straightforward. Chat, what is the number one break that black should be playing here for? Which, by the way, was played by the King Charles the Cavalier, and I'm very proud of him for that. He said that we should have played it here. No, Streamlabs is fine. We love that machine. Now, c5 is not a break. c5 is closing the position down and is a positional blunder because it creates an outpost here and denies black all play on the king side, queen side, right? Yeah, so f5 is definitely a way to go. Whether you play f5 or f6 is almost irrelevant. As far as I'm concerned, white is compelled to take. Which, by the way, the engine agrees with too. And then you take back. And now it goes into the absolute bananas category. The position that is. Like, this is what Rapport's wet dreams are made of. It's very, very difficult to evaluate these positions because we don't have what most would describe as a proper shelter for our king. But nor does white. And as a matter of fact, it's difficult to develop for white because the logical knight e2 keeps this bishop not hanging but loose, right? So you don't want to do this. Well, pawn is hanging, but even just take and bishop g4 and parking a bishop on f3 is really bad news for white. Playing f3 similarly disconnects queen and bishop. And bishop f3 is also weird because it feels weird. And now when the knight is on e2 again, there is a bit of a disconnect, which might grant you tactical ideas like knight d5, and you can pick off the bishop. Maybe. I didn't check that tactically, so I may be talking poo. But also, there is knight g4 now, once again, because of the disconnect. So, the engines generally prefer these types of positions for white, but I find that it's very difficult or harder to play this well for white than with black. Anywho, we went knight c5, h5, and then f5, and the engine gives it a bit of a naughty, but I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. So let's go. Take, which looks bad. They definitely should have taken this. Take, yeah. Take another horrid move. Bishop f5. And as far as I'm concerned, black is already clearly better. Knight f3, knight b4. Very good. This is, once again, dream chess. Tuck, check, very good. Very good. Very good. I have a bad feeling that Mr. Cavalier sent us a game where he won. That's unacceptable. We only analyze losses on this chat, on this stream. Okay, so I should have deleted the chess.com analysis, but what the hell is this move? AKA, why on earth are we playing here queen f7? I'm so choo-choo about this. Colin, the Indian is a reference to, so generally speaking, Indian openings refer to openings where a bishop, one or the other, gets developed to fianchetto. Blunder is harsh, I agree. It is not a blunder, but it's definitely a very strange call to make. I mean, this is a one move checkmate threat after a move where white has announced that they want to take on f5. And we had check and bishop g4, which seems to... Yeah, but like, welcome to kindergarten. We don't hope that this is going to land, right? Like, what is white's next most logical move? Bishop e3. So are we forcing the best move out of white here? So bishop check. King here, bishop g4. But maybe bishop g4 either way is just as good. Right? And if f3, yeah, well, that's hanging, so that's not a move. So queen somewhere. Now you have got knight f3. We might have e4 to bring even the bishop in. So this is just Carnage City. But maybe bishop g4 either way is even better. I don't know. You don't know about the cock. Let me tell you. Well, I don't know. I closed already that window. Okay, let's go. So, Charles, now is the time when you started playing pretty moves instead of good moves. And I want you to see it too. Like, in most H3 King's Indian stories like this one, the E4 square and its control is absolutely vital. And now after rook e8, knight e4, for the first time, I am questioning what our winning plan is here. Like, the trend has been downward. Like, rook e8, if rook e8 can be met by knight e4, and a sufficiently retained control of the e4 square, meaning that black can't kick out the e4 piece, that makes rook e8 bordering a positional blunder. Because what that tells you is that, in fact, white's very plan is to play knight e4, and you need to do your absolute best to stop it. Or to interfere and do shit that means that they don't have time to do so. Ahmed, that means that you haven't seen enough King's Indian games in your life, because this is a very standard King's Indian structure. Yeah, so here you want to strike, right? Like, take knight f5. Now I've got a mate threat. Or, sorry, rather a threat to kill here. If they still get play knight e4, now we're flooding in. Now you can go rook f4 next, as per Dr. Rengau. So one way to go about life is to trade a shit ton of stuff off. Another one would be to just probably sack the pawn to open up diagonals. So if you want rook e8, do it here. Now this has a ton of oomph. That's how Judith Polgar would play this, right? And that's how Morphy would play it, my friend, because your pieces need diagonals and files. What you are doing here is denying both from your own pieces. Like, look at this position with the pawn on e5, and then look at the same position without the pawn on e5 and tell me which one you prefer. No, it's not that you don't need the pawn. No. That's totally wrong take. You absolutely hate having the pawn. It's not that you don't need it. You positively want to be rid of it. There is no positive here. It's a clean negative to have the pawn on e5. So you want to be rid of it as best as possible, so that you have the file to work with. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so funny how we regretted queen f7 rather quickly. People try to justify it in the chat. Now here we go. We're going to and fro. Whoa, not rook. Hello. Like, you need to be careful, bruv, because you might get some unwanted attention and love. But not in this move order, right? So I go back home first, clearing the house. What? Rook knight f6. Yeah, take. I sense tactics here. Where is my tactic? Queen takes, pawn takes, d3 followed by rook e2. Hello? Take d3. Are you resigning or are you resigning? Which one is it? So you are resigning, right? It's the first one. This is the textbook case again, that when people are confused about how to retake, this is what I was talking about in my YouTube video. The concept of allowing losing material is absolutely #1 priority in people's thinking. Like, oh, this loses the rook, can't do that. Yes, you can. In fact, this is what makes it attractive to go into. Whereas takes loses the rook in a different way, which is that it becomes a useless piece of wood. And after knight g3, now all white pieces are functioning in a beautiful harmony. And you ran out of shit to do. In fact, this is now just completely winning for white. Quite amazing, by the way. I didn't think it was that bad. But like bishop e5 looks most natural, and after queen h5, we just can't hold. We can't hold the fort. And this is on. So let's say I defend the rook, yeah? And then g6. And now again f5 is falling out of the sky. It's insane. It's absolutely insane that in one move, instead of us being the aggressors and the ones delivering checkmate, rook e2 and cuf2, instead of that, oh, by the way, there's a beautiful tactic here. Check this out, queen d2. And now if we go rook e2, who can see white's counterpunch? Which, by the way, still loses, but at least it's sexy. That's right, rook h8 is on, except after king f7, white can resign. Check takes, check here, and that's it. Get out of my game. Yeah, this was a beautiful example of dynamics versus material. Wait, what? Okay, very nice. Very nice. That does absolutely nothing. You definitely want to take this way, right? Because their only last trick is rook f6 check, in case you take with the bishop queen hangs. So you definitely take this way, so that if rook f6 check comes, you can take it this way. Yeah, that was good. The escape square was good. The rest was rubbish. Well, not rubbish, but inaccurate. Like, this is completely winning, but you fell into their only trick. That was sad. The reason why it hurts me to see you do this is because I may be harsh and you may have had little time, but what it demonstrates to me is that you didn't do what every player has to do, especially in a position like this, is to ask the question of, what does this do to me? Especially in a context where your planned move is to abandon a file where you can be checked. That to me speaks either insane time trouble or B, lack of tactical awareness. But if I want to be very honest, I would go with second. Because even in a time trouble, you should want to feel safe. Well, the thing is that that's the only thing that should come to you. Like, it's not about how quickly it comes. It's about whether it does or it doesn't. Like as soon as you see rook h6, in my opinion, the only thing that should come to you is that they want to check here because it can't take the bugger because of the pin. It's much more about whether it does or doesn't, more so than the speed of it. The speed of it is a matter of experience and a lot of other things. But whether it does or doesn't betrays tactical awareness and the lack thereof. Okay, so luckily our opponent didn't see that the rook was on, which would have still created some difficulties in terms of converting, right? Okay, now it's mate. Didn't we have rook h1 here, boss? Hello? Check and mate? Am I tripping or am I on the money? Oh, you flagged! Shit. No. Oh, hello, mate in one. That's very tragic. That's very tragic, Mr. Cav. But I think we got a lot from this game. I do think that we got a lot out of this game. No. I was mostly messing with you when you said, oh, you submitted a win. Yes, I'm sure that he will. I'm sure that he will. That was a good game. I like that. Okay, so Mr. AA submitted a game for analysis. And since now he is a proud subscriber, we're going to have a look at his game. Where we're going to take a red hot look at the Caro-Kann, to my greatest dismay. Okay, so A3, holy Moses, what are you doing? E6, good. Bishop D3. I am definitely not against the idea of taking this, but in the same breath, I would like to ask the question of why are we not playing key knight e7? I don't think, Mr. Cavalier, that you can forget that. Like, that is such a powerful motif and idea. You see it once, you have seen it forever. By the way, Mr. AA, yeah, okay, I just wanted to say that if you want to improve your chess, I would refrain from, well, you know what? I'm gonna dox you because why the heck not? Let me see this. Yeah, so do you want to get better at chess? If the answer is yes, then this, what I see here in the left column, should not look like this at all. So what this demonstrates to me is that you love playing chess. But you have not necessarily the interest to improve at it. Which is totally fine. I just wanted to clarify that. Yeah, knight e7 is good. Correct. That is true, though. That's a very good point, Rangao. But, okay, so let me rephrase this. So we do not have the... Our number one priority is not getting better at chess. And that's totally fine. That is totally fine. I like the kick. And I want to invite the chat here to tell me what they would do. This is one of the most instructive moments of this game. Havel, the longer the better. That's what she said too, but this is especially true to chess. I'm a big advocate of rapid at the very least, and I'm also a big advocate of not playing without increment. So 10-2, 10-5 are my two bare minimums. Risky move, Areno is a really good name, Areno. I'm very glad that you are in the house. C5 is the right idea, and perhaps the right move even. But Courtney in the house will help us out here, because we have got an annoying pin. We need to resolve the pin, and the question is, what is the best way to resolve this pin? And before you start typing, it's not G5. Mr. Yusim, you just started typing too soon. It is Queen B6. It is Queen B6. But, and this is very important that we understand this. Why are we playing here Queen B6? The idea is not dominantly to take this. It is a threat that I would do against certain moves. But the number one idea is to get the fridge out of this pin and prepare for knight f5, which is going to hit the bishop and the pawn at the same time. I consider the fact that b2 hanging a fortunate byproduct of the move. It's not the intention. Okay? So for example, opponent plays knight d2. If you play b2, take b2 in this position, you are literally disowned from this stream. You're not welcome anymore unless you send an official apology letter with a thorough explanation that you understand that this is not a chess move. Because that should be our first chess lesson, that queens don't go on pawn hunts. Right? The reason why we did this is so that now we can happily jump out of this pin with a tempo without compromising our position at all. Nah, Courtney, you would never ever take that. Absolutely no chance. Hence my preference to this over g5. Okay, this is still good. Yep. And nope. Mr. Ahmed Ali, where is this knight going to develop? Or I should rather say, where should this knight develop? Chat, you are welcome to help us out. Thank you, Mr. Havel. I'm trying. No, yeah, welcome in, welcome in. Why would you put this knight on b6? In fact, let me rephrase that question. Why would you spend 2 moves to misplace the knight? And by the way, in case you are wondering why you shouldn't have had Professor Levy as your coach, here is the first answer. Because now we are playing an opening where our knight cannot go to its most natural square, and we haven't developed that natural feel for the game that if the knight can't go to c6, then the correct way to think about it is not that, okay, then I will go somewhere else. No, then the correct way to think it is that we stuff this up, so we fix it. And the knight still goes to c6, brothers. That is the correct way to think. And unless you have a coach who teaches you these habits properly on the back of an opening that doesn't facilitate these habits correctly, you are going to take a sad detour from the correct path of chess philosophy, chess, you know, the correct way to see the game. you want to put this knight on c6. You put a pawn on c6, so now you have a problem to fix. The way you fix it is not to put the knight on d7. It happens an awful lot in the Caro-Kann because you can't help it, but here we can. Yes, this is why I recommend the accelerated Caro-Kann, which is e4, c5. A move that controls the center and allows your knight to develop to its natural square. Very highly recommended. Indeed. I do have a clip somewhere about that, yes. So yeah, this is not a happy or a pretty move. Oh yes, there is a clip somewhere. I don't know where though, but there is a clip somewhere. If anyone could dig it out, I would be very, very grateful. Holy smokes. Very good. Okay, what is our gut reaction move here? What is our gut reaction move for black here? Ah, we found it. We have found it. We have found it. Right, so our gut reaction move, per Mr. Yusim, is still c5. Because you want to fight for the center and you want to put your pieces on correct squares. And again, c5 facilitates to do that. Knight d7 facilitates absolutely nothing. I do not understand why we play this move. The general response is, because I want to play c5. Yeah, then why don't you? Why do we need to misplace a piece in order to carry out a plan that is good to go? Oh, Mr. Shirogorov has unfollowed me in order to follow me again. Isn't that lovely? Mr. Static versus Dynamic, welcome back in. So yeah, Ahmad, friend, c5 and the horse hops to c6. Okay, knight d7 played. b4 played. Now we have got a bit of a difficulty in carrying out the c5 plan. Yeah, I'm thinking that now we are going to struggle for a pawn break. So maybe queen b6 to score a tempo on this. And then a5. This would have been interesting. Okay, I dig this. c4 is a neat looking outpost. Goodie. 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 What the heck? Yo, what? Was this a mouse slip? This was a mouse slip. In fact, I'm turning my question into a statement. So, what are we supposed to do here, friends? King h8 could not have been an intentional move because there is no intention whatsoever behind it, right? So chat, tell me what we should do here. c5. I love c5. Except this is a tactical blunder. When people say that I played a pass move, to me that's like, you are in a sword fight, someone just chopped your left arm off, and then you go like, hey, why don't you have another go? That's what a pass move is in the middle of a middle game. Always think about it like that, and you will never ever say or do that utter nonsense again. It's literally like for like a good equivalent. That you are in a sword fight, your one arm got just chopped off, and you go like, hey, that was cool. Have another go. Don't forget the smile on the face. Like, hello? What? How, bro? Like, what is our general pawn break strategy in the Caro-Kann? To break with c5. So why don't we break with c5? Answer, because it sucks in knight d5 and after e d5, queen f5. Right. Can I fix this problem? Correct answer. Yes, we can. We take g3 first, then we break with c5. Hello, this is what chess looks like. Plans, counter plans. Except there's not even a counter plan. We just need to be aware of the fact that this makes the pawns a bit loose when this many knights are protected by them. So knight d5 is very annoying. So yep, here we go. We take the bishop, not happily, but c5 is priority. And now this pawn chain is completely messed up. White is inevitably going to lose a pawn. Shout out to Levy for his successful Caro-Kann strategy. King h8 is typically a move, and I say it once per stream. I would rather sit here with black for 2 minutes and 50 seconds and lose on time than play a move like this. This makes the pawns a bit loose. Is that something that sounds like funny, or because of the knights are protected by said pawns? Okay, so let me rephrase this again because maybe I'm not clear. So when we play c5, the pawns now, like the structure is a little bit less connected, right? So there is fewer defenders, like the pawns are not guarding each other as efficiently as before. And we feel like this is responsible for guarding that, that is responsible for guarding that. And so there is a tactic that justifies what I just said, that this is not safe. Hence we take first. And now there is no tactical refutation when it comes to this pawn move. I just have nothing to say to this. And so I won't. So here's my question for you, by the way, brother. You played here queen e7. Why didn't you play that in place of this disgrace? Like, why did you not continue passing here? What is the correct strategy when we become passers? Yeah, exactly. Like, why don't we go king h7 or back to g8? Like, what is it that made you go like, okay, I can't pass anymore? That's what you should have done when you did the pass first. Okay, queen e7, yeah. Opening the file for the rook. Wait, what? First of all, it was your opponent who opened the file. And second of all, if you wanted to use the open file, then wouldn't you play rook b8 here? Which, unlike the move you played, is in sync with what you just said. Oh boy, g-file. What g-file, friend? Okay, so let's talk a little bit of basic chess strategy, yes? Rooks, by far and large, belong to open files. Where is the only open file on the board? Here. Where is a file that is not open on the board? Everywhere else. So, if in this position you played rook c8, no, if I told you to play not rook c8, I will play something more ludicrous. Rook d8. Would you be surprised if I told you that this was a good move because of the d file? You would, right? Because there's absolutely nothing happening on the d file. No? You wouldn't be surprised if I said play rook d8. I would fall off my chair if someone played rook d8 here. Yeah, right. Well, guess what? The same goes for g file. No, actually, it's a lot worse. Because with rook d8, after you play c5, there is a glimmer of hope that something is going to happen on the d file. But there is absolutely zero chance, none whatsoever, that anything will ever happen in this game on the g file. Which, by the way, happens to be the most clocked up file on the board. I don't even see how you see that there can be anything happening here. Because as soon as you play g4, I'm just gonna play idiotic, the knight will go away somewhere, right? How is this file gonna ever be opened up? I really don't get this. Anyway, we play queen e7, which is quite decent. By the way, I'm very, very hungry. I will have to get a bit of tucker after this. I'm shaking. g4, yeah, okay, that's fine. Queen g5. What's guarding c4, my friend? So, I really, really want to tell you something that I don't think anyone has told you, which begs the question of why we're playing the Caro-Kann in the first place. So, in particular, by the way, it is true about this. So, I don't know if anyone told you this, but the advanced Caro-Kann is basically, from Black's perspective, a hopeful version of an advanced French. So, an advanced French looks like this. Yeah? In this pawn structure, Black's #1 goal is to break with c5 and put pressure on the pawn structure, in particular the d4 pawn, by following it up with knight c6, queen b6, yada yada yada. When we play the Caro-Kann, we claim, behind the black pieces, that this is an improved version of the advanced French, because we are going to play the exact same strategy, but our bad French bishop is outside of the chain and often gets traded off. So what you should be doing right here, right now, is to demonstrate that you understand the very first, most basic idea of this opening, which is to play c5 and go after the pawn chain. Knight c6, queen b6, knight here, knight here. Has anyone ever explained this to you? Including Levy. No, I'm not a fan of people playing openings when they don't understand the very first basic idea of the opening wasn't explained to them. That I'm not a fan of. I save a lot based on what is going on right now. That is more of an insult than a compliment, but I will take it as a compliment. Because what appears to be the case, my very good friend, is that you have had about 40,000 moves between move 6 and move 20 to play c5, and it was never on your radar. Not once. Look. c5, best move here. c5, best move here. Yes, the Pegasus guy. c5. Right here, best move. We're not playing it. c5, best move here. Like, why are we immune to playing the #1 basic concept of your opening? It is so confusing to me. And then we blunder a pawn here, by the way. Okay, I don't know why our opponent decided to lose an exchange, but fine, I'm happy. Good. Good. I would have preferred to play rook b8 first and then work with the rooks, but it's fine. Yep. No. Like, this is textbook case of knee-jerk reactions of the 1000 rated player. Shit is hanging, shit has to move. No, the polar opposite. Your knee-jerk reaction to moves like this should be, what can I do that is not moving the rook? And there's only one move that can do that, and that is this, which ironically wins the house. Your chess is completely miswired if in a position like this when your rook is hanging, you want to move the rook. That's a completely wrong reaction. By the way, additionally to all the mistakes that I have corrected so far, your time usage is absolutely awful. Which is another reason why you shouldn't be playing Blitz, by the way. Like, you haven't done too much thinking, if any at all, so far in this game. Mr. Ali, it is not like a variation or a line. It is a concept. This is how people misunderstand and misconduct opening learning. You should learn the basic ideas before you learn lines. And the most basics of ideas in the Caro-Kann is to play c5. This is good. This is good. Okay, isn't this bishop, sorry, knight hanging for free? Once again, I don't understand the concept or the thinking here. We created a skewer or a fork or a double, sorry, it's a fork, on these two. They cannot be protected. In fact, here, this could be the only playable move for white. They move one, we don't take the other. Why? Why not? This is once again knee-jerk reaction chess. Oh, my rook is hanging, I have to move it. No, you don't. No, you don't. No one said that. I don't understand this check. In a way, this is the worst move of the board, of the game. Because it's a completely waste of time check that allows the king to cross a barrier that you have created, and it's absolutely uncrossable as long as you choose them not to cross it. So you could just take this and promote to a queen, and it's completely unstoppable because this king cannot move this way at all. And you go like, hey, why don't you activate your king with a tempo and kick out my bishop? And it can't even go wrong. That's the best part of it, is that you are forcing them to play the best move that is going to mess with you royally. Now you have to start from scratch. Well, would have had to if they took this. Nice tactic. That was a very, very neat tactic. All right, I have to grab, guys, some food. I'm literally shaking. I might leave you with a question, though. If I can find something that I sent to Rengao lately that was a bit instructive. I don't really have anything cool to show you by the looks of things. Oh, Risky Moverino is coming in Hungarian. Yeah, this was a very, very interesting game. Oh, Smurfett sent me a very cool kid game. Okay. I'll leave it on the board while I'm going to get some taka. Black to move. Be a star. I will be back in about 140 seconds. Hey? Good. Alrighty, welcome to today's edition of mukbang, which is going to be a slurpy mukbang because I'm eating a soup, which is basically chicken, vegetables, and my wife, who is a genius in the kitchen, has prepared a chili sauce, which is basically hot chili, garlic, cooked / heated up, but cooked actually, like bringing to boiling point in olive oil or some oil. It's the kryptonite of food. Yeah, I expected it to be a bullet or a blitz. I will enjoy it. No, it's not the goulash because it's a Filipino recipe. You wouldn't cook goulash out of chicken. You can, but it's not the thing. If you voted for H3, you are a hero. It is the correct way to go. And checkmate is subtitles on. Watching mukbang with subtitle must be the same like watching porn with subtitle, right? Like it doesn't really add any extra information to what you can see. I guess apart from the... Oh, you must be the plumber. Yeah, that's right. Please, come in. And from there on out, there is not really added value. They took... What is our move now? This soup is so freaking good. Is the pepper stuff like Chinese chili crisp oil? Similar to that, yeah. Except it's better. The Chinese don't put garlic in it. Or not enough anyway. But yeah, similar concept. Except this one is better. Well done, Mr. Diaz. Well done. Check, and Matutski. By the way, I think anyone who plays this line with white in a bullet game is a moron. Honestly, like, they may have the chess knowledge of a 2700, but they definitely have the common sense of a doorknob. And I mean it absolutely wholeheartedly. Like, in bullet, if you have an attack like this with black, that's like a +5 in the evaluation bar. Irrespective of the objective evaluation. And I don't mean to take credit away from Smurfette, because it's a marvelous attack. This is how you do it. But the thing is that these are the exact same moves that Smurfette would have played in a classical time control. And the reason for that is that you can play these attacks on an instinct. So when you are playing in very limited time control, it's a huge advantage because you don't think. You are following attacking patterns that you know inside out. Oh yeah, you went Carnage City. You mean where, actually? Now, come to think of it. Because Rook F7 is only playable here. Like, now you're gone. You are past that point. Yeah, exactly. This attacking pattern is just like, whoop, mate. Unless you have time to figure out how it's not made. I don't know if strategically confusing is the right way to go, because the strategy for either color is as simple as a doorknob again, right? Like black goes, mate, I want to hit you in the head with a club. White goes, I want to destroy you on the queen side by hitting you on the head with a club. I think that is fairly decently simple. I think strategic subtleties are far more prominent, for example, in the bayonet attack. That is strategic. This one is just caveman chess on both sides. Yeah, Pikat Kasparov was one of those. Alright, I'm nearly done with eating and then we can continue with our agenda. By the way, if anyone wants to play, I can play and eat at the same time, or so I hope. By the way, is Magnus playing in this bastardized version of a chess tournament in Riyadh? Look, caveman is not a degrading, describing word here. It's just a way to describe, I suppose, the complexity, or rather the simplicity of the plan. By the way, is the Hans Table Slam going to be the most popular chess video this year? Or at least this week? God forbid someone would watch chess for actual chess content, right? Rengao, in general, I'm a decent cook, so I wouldn't die if no one cooked for me. In fact, I have been cooking lately more than I used to. But, you know, also there is this 21st century invention that you can eat out. And I take advantage of this concept quite regularly. Since I live in a country that is taking the greatest and most advantage of multiculturalism, far more so in my opinion than any other country in the world. Maybe Canada might be similar in this regard. But I don't think that there are too many countries in the world where any big city would offer you an abundance of international cuisine, generally speaking in high quality. Like within a kilometer, okay, you know what, let me expand it to a 3-kilometer radius. I can get incredibly good quality Turkish, Thai, Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, Indian, without any problems whatsoever. And if I'm willing to expand the radius to like a 5-kilometer radius, then I can add Greek, Lebanese, then you name it, it's there. How far is kilometers in miles? Miles is a proper surname of English descent, for example, Anthony Miles is a very well-known grandmaster. Civilized humans in the 21st century use the metric system. Next time you are going to ask me how many stones do I weigh, right? Get a grip, for goodness sake, man. Get a grip. Hey bro, I knew I chess. Alright, any other games that the crew wants to analyze? Let's go. Let's go, Professor Sam. Let's go. Mr. Diaz, I am doing subscriber game analysis. So the first thing you need to do is to sub to the channel. The second is to send me the game. The latter is very easy. So is the former. Yep. Okay. Did I see Hans' reaction after Levin defeated Magnus? Yes, I did. Do I think that it was pathetically cringe? Yes, I do. Do I, however, also think that the crusade against Hans was cringe? Yes, I also do. Do I therefore think, in conclusion, that two wrongs don't make a right? Yes, I do. Do I play viewers right now? Only subs. But yes, that's also on the table. Well, I wasn't listening to the commentary, mostly because I don't enjoy watching / following 960 chess, which I refuse to call freestyle. So I don't know how high quality his commentary was. I can imagine that he would do a decent commentary because his chess is good enough for it. But yeah, the cringe joy on his face as Maggie was getting defeated, yeah. It was piss poor in my opinion, as was once again Magnus's crusade against him. Yeah, it was very, very goofy, childish, and pathetic. Okay, let's break this down, ladies. So e3, yeah, good. Bishop g7, d5, either or is fine. c4, bishop g7. Yeah, I'm good. Now here, you could choose to be wise and castle first, waiting for the knight to land to d3. c3 rather, excuse me, so that we can provoke our opponent here into an e4, knight c3, which is a tempo up Grunfeld. But there's nothing wrong with what you've done. Okay, I dislike this. So what I want to do here is either castles or c5. But my heart is in c5. If you are a Grunfeld player, just like our good friend Mr. Ahmed Ali from... actually, I don't know where you are from, buddy. I'm going to predict a Saudi Arabia. you have to be hardwired for c5. Like, when in doubt, c5. That's your rule. And when in doubt, bishop f5, that thing doesn't exist. Ever. Egypt. Well, here is the rule of thumb once again. Here is the rule of thumb for you, young man. When in doubt, play it. I don't have an answer for that, Courtney. I have an answer for you that should satisfy you, because I like to satisfy. I don't care how many openings you know up to 10 moves. What you should want to do is to understand the basic concepts of all of them that you play. Yeah, I think, Philae, you are not wrong. Why is nobody playing c5 when it should be played is the title of the stream today. Okay, hello. Correct, but I only know 2. Then you are correct. You are perfectly fine. Do you only play 2 openings? I don't think so. So you have work to do. Mr. Yusim, I don't want to act like it doesn't hurt me that you voluntarily signed up these 2 pieces for a fork. Your opponent announced that, hey, I'm coming after you, because you walked into it, and you go like, knock yourself out. What am I watching? Oh boy. Thank God. Please tell me you played c5. Good man. Good man. What's the hurry about the take, Chief? Why are we not castling? Why are we rushing this capture instead of just castling? The evergreen theme of releasing tension too soon. And now after queen c6 check for the second time, we can resign the game. This is really sad, man. Like, castles, and now you are ready to fight. You were super not ready to fight here. You are correct, Mr. Ahmed. Yes, you are correct. And instead of that, you could acquire my Chessable course for club players for d4, d5. And you would be excited about the prospect of playing against d4. I mean, if you are a Caro-Kann player, you have just as enough valid reasons to quit the game after e4 right away, right? Like, in fact, you are choosing to put the misery in the equation. So, I don't quite understand that mentality. Okay, this was really, really not cool game, man. Queen c6 check, you have to come back. Knight e6, you're completely dead here. Completely dead. That was really, really not well played. Yeah, this is decent now. Yeah. Oh, God. Hello? Oh, he is cooking. He is cooking. He is cooking. Unfortunately, this move doesn't make up for all the crazy stuff that you've done earlier. And this I'm telling you as Professor Coach, that this is a problem for you if you want to cross 1600 and 1700, is that we lost this game already 5 times. We lost this game here on e4. Well, not 5, but 2. We lost this game here on queen c6 check. And even here, if your opponent had played either of these checks, that's 3. And even here, if your opponent had played bishop d3, you would have been in trouble. So, yeah. You are playing now beautiful chess, having thrown this game away at least 3 times. And you are sitting on the threshold rating-wise, where you still occasionally get away with it, but it's gonna get worse and worse. Yeah, that's asking too much. Ironically, King G7 is the engine's record. Have you walked into some Knight B3 stuff? Oh no, it's Queen C1 and we are pinned. Oopsies. Oopsie daisy. Not so great, is it? Hello, Chameleon. Yeah, everyone is playing better when they play up, or most people at least. Now we are back to good. Jesus wept. What is going on? Okay, B4 is gonna hurt now, right? Yeah. Okay, chat, this is a very, very good challenge. Black to move. What is the best way to make the most of the situation that there's a free piece hanging on D2? Mr. Landau, chuck it in, buddy. I want to see that game. Rook HD8, not a bad move, but not best. No, taking is not good because of B4. That's the point. And we lost on time here. After Queen A3, Queen D2, I would say it's roughly equal. However, Professor Tikari and Professor Courtney is telling us that taking E3 first, rampant knight, and then taking this is the way to go. Because now we are going to pick off E3 as well. And black has got a very, very, very pleasant position here. The answer is always a sad and it's always a sack too. That's correct. You are correct on both accounts there, sir. Mr. Renga, thank you. I just received an email from the Royal Mail saying that my parcel has left the United Kingdom and it's on its way to me. The reason why I'm reading it out loud and the reason why it's ironic is because 2 days ago I received an email stating that my parcel has arrived in Australia. So if it left the UK again, my parcel is traveling to and fro. I mean, it's a spectacular trip for sure. Make no mistake. Because E3 is hanging with check, my friend. That's the point of the whole Saccharino, right? That's why. Yes, I am indeed. Why are you asking, Mr. King Wiki? Aussie Border Patrol is fun. That is really, really good. Border Security, Aussie. I didn't know you knew that existed, Tikari. It is actually a very popular show in Australia. The amount of time people try to bring in shit after being very explicitly explained that you can't do that is absolutely mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. Oh, no. I purchased shit before I actually started expecting it. So I'm not the type of guy who receives an email that, oh, your parcel is ready for collection. You need to pay X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, sure. Nah. I'm retarded, but not that badly. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's popular because our immigration laws are so strict. How often do we say Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi? Not very, to be honest. I mean, me personally. Because generally speaking, it happens in sporting events where there is an Australian athlete competing. And the only sport events that I regularly attend is tennis, which is once a year. How far away are you from Bond University, Gold Coast? About 1,200 kilometers. Why not a chess event? That's a good question. But it's such a cool chant, by the way. Like, we have got a similar one in Hungarian, as in a chant that, you know, is supposed to encourage a cheer Hungarians on. But Aussie, 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 oi, 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 that beats everything I've heard in my life. That is the best shit ever. That alone was worth becoming an Australian citizen for. No, I find it actually amusing, the national pride. And the thing is, and this is why multiculturalism really is a thing in Australia and it works here, is that if said Australian is actually a son or a daughter of a Vietnamese father and a Pakistani mother, the Aussie is still going on with the same enthusiasm, the same heart rate, the same everything. Like, it's not preserved for a particular race or age or gender or anything like that. It just, if you are bearing the Aussie flag, you represent the country, you get the full support. How long did it take to become an Australian citizen? Well, for me personally, about 10 years. But the reason for that, it shouldn't have taken that long, is because for 6 years I didn't make up my mind as to whether I wanted or not. Once I decided to make up my mind, from there on out it was about 5 years. You guys are bonded together by a very funny way of speaking. I mean, nothing, absolutely nothing I like more in Australia when a very clearly Chinese person not even Chinese, Asian, like screaming Asian outlooks with the thickest Aussie accent. That shit is the best ever. Like, I just love that. Yeah, I absolutely love that. It's freaking amazing. Oh, that's fantastic, Tikari. I'm very happy for you. Jawohl! Jawohl! Natürlich! Thank you, Mr. Landau. Where did you send the game, buddy? And by the way, you didn't need to pay for this. Today it's free, and although you are a subscriber on YouTube, which doesn't count, but I would have done it for you for free because you have already donated a shit ton to this channel. But I appreciate that. Wait, Ian Diaz sent me a game. Ooh, I forgot this. I'm sorry, Mr. Diaz. Are you still here? Shit. No, there are no regional accents really in Australia. Like, you either speak with a thick Aussie accent or you don't. There are no real variations on it. Is education expensive? You mean free? Yeah, no, there are no regional accents in Australia. It's the same bogan everywhere. Free question mark. Yeah, you know how you walk into the school, you meet your teacher, they show you to your desk, they teach you shit, you walk out and you do this for like 12 years. Yeah, that's free. It doesn't have to be. If you want, you can pay for it. University isn't. University isn't, but all the way up to uni it's free. If you want it to be. You can choose to send your kids to private schools if you prefer, but you don't have to. I'm still asking if Mr. Diaz is still here. He paid for a analysis that I would like to conduct, but I'm not sure if he's still here. Oh, he's here. Good. Okay, let's get on instead of me talking boring shit. Mate. Bishop b5 is the move, mate. I told ya. Fucking earth. Fucking earth, mate. Can earth is a very important Australianism that I recommend everyone to learn. That's the first question on your citizenship test. What does this mean? That. No, that's not a typo. I typed it perfectly well. Alright, Mr. Diaz, are we black or white? Yeah, that's it. That's it. Courtney's on point. Yes, exactly. Courtney, as always. My lady never misses a beat. So, Ken is short for fucking Earth, which is basically a way to say, yes, that's legit, that's real. Yeah. It's are you coming to the ball game tonight, mate? Fucking Earth I am, mate. See you there. Just gonna duck into the bottle, mate. Pick up some bevies. And off we go. Alright, let's go. So, Italian. Yep. 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 Yeah, the R is definitely not necessary in the Australian language, that's for sure. For sure, mate. For sure. Unless it's not in the word, in which case we insist on putting it in there. For example, when you say no, in Australian it's nor. Nor, mate, nor. I can't even do it. My daughter does an amazing nor. Like it sounds like it's spelled N-A-O-R, like 7 letters. That's awesome, Mr. Diaz, but can we know the colors, please? Oh, he's a whitey. And ratings, please. Ratings. The fact that your opponent is 15 years old is irrelevant. No, it's the no, as in no, you cannot go to the pub. It's like no. Yeah, that's right, Risky. That's right. For fuck's sakes, Mr. Diaz, ratings, please. Oh, the guy is dancing around the facts like, no, I'm not giving it to you, bitches. I will tell you it's Mexican, it's 15 years old, I am 26. I've got now half of your life story, bro, except for the ratings. Oh, I actually see it. Sorry, I'm being an idiot. You sent it to me. I stand corrected. 17 versus 16 hundo. Oh, Mr. Landau, your game is here. Okay, I'm guessing it's the last link. I will have a look at that next. And I reckon we'll call it a day there. Sorry, Mr. Diaz. Humble apologicos. Chicos, chicas. Excuse. Por favor, señor. I don't know why I'm talking like an idiot. Wait the freak up. castles queenside. This kid is only 15 but has the size of the balls of an elephant. I don't know why, but I would die to play here. The bishop move with the idea of just fucking kill, kill, kill. Is this bad? What's knight e3? It's a knight that is going towards that magical part of the center, my friend, that we still need to work on with you, which is called the center. That's what knight e3 is. That being said, I would have preferred to see bishop e3 first, then a potential capture followed by knight e3. Right idea, wrong timing. And here, like I said, it would be either bish here or bish here, with the idea of go, go, go. I don't like this move. And the number one reason why I don't like this move is because I do not understand the purpose of it. Mr. Diaz, what's cooking here with Queen E2? Engine's top choice, by the way. But I don't understand it, so I insist on wanting to investigate the purpose of this move. But like, is there a D5 coming? Because if D5 is not coming, then you playing Queen E2 is a royal waste of time, in my humble opinion. Additionally to that, what would be your next move after Queen E2 if I gave you another move? Like, let's say I go like, okay, your turn again. What would you do now? And if you have been a regular flyer on this stream, you know what my next question is going to be after the answer comes in. Okay, so here's my question for you. If your plan is bishop c2, what's wrong with it right now? Because time is of the essence, right? Like, I don't understand why Queen E2 is necessary to play bishop c2. My engine tells me that there is a reason for it, but on my measly 2300 level, it's not a good explanation. And I'm not going to start an argument with the engine. But frankly, I think it's full of shit. Because the engine tells me that black is better after take d5. And if it was anybody else but the engine that I argued with, I would tell them that you are full of shit. How is this better for black? I still don't get it. Like, I just don't. Because now I have the two bishops. It doesn't feel right. But okay. So we went Queen E2. Bishop E6. Bishop C2. Very good. I would have done this. D5. Yeah. B4. I dig it. Having said that, there is a big difference here. So the problem with B4 now is that after take D4, you can't take without making this loose. So actually, here I would have been a little bit more cautious. I also wonder about the potential of take, and then B4, A4. Risky Moverino! Welcome in, brother. How's it going? By the way, Jazz, I had a look at your Black Map Demer, and that idea that you did there is textbook how to beat that shitty system. Well, if you get lost, then find your way. out. Like, I want mate. Good enough. Let's go. Okay, so we did queen e2. d5, b4, take. That's a dog shit move, though. What I meant was that that's not good. Take, yeah. That's bullshit. What the hell is this kid doing? Like, he just completely threw the game. Here, bishop e3, d4, and black is fine. Take, like game over. Hello? I take back and up a piece. Bishop d2. Castles. Wait, why not castle? Or even rook b1, actually. I would only look at two moves here. Rook b1 and castles. Yes, exactly what that is, Philae. I wish I were that guy who said that, because that's such wise words. Those are words of wisdom. So what are we doing here? Look, the issue here is that this is how people's minds work. They realize that if they play a move like castles, then there is knight d4. And then instead of dedicating time and energy into investigating what it really does, they decide that they dislike it. So usually what you find here is that this is a textbook case of reluctance of engaging with lines that leads to poor decisions. No. I have to tell you this here because this is the truth and you're not going to like it. This is not prophylaxis. This is lazy. It is not prophylactic, really, because you can't really talk prophylaxis in a position where you're up a piece and there are tactical threats coming in like mad. You should have castled here, in my opinion, because after knight d4 take, I think this is just game over. I don't see why this is a threat. We just won the queen, no? Like bishop here, queen here, bishop here. This is a typical issue, by the way, on 1600 level, so I can totally understand what you're doing here, but you have to see my point, which is that you do not stop calculating here on account of this looks messy. No, you start calculating here, friend. Because this is actually not messy, it's sharp. But you're up a piece, so you can't afford not calculating a line, especially with a queen this deep in enemy territory. And if you can't tell me that you cannot clearly calculate this, then my message to you is that the only way to get better at it is to attempt it. I don't think you did. I'm happy to be wrong. But you absolutely have to 100% embrace this instead of avoiding it. This is the only way to go forward. And every single rating level has a matching problem where they see an issue that requires them to calculate and they feel, it's not necessarily true by the way, in fact more often than not it's not, that it's beyond their ability to calculate a particular line beyond a certain depth. And so in an attempt to avoid miscalculating and losing stupidly, they entirely avoid engaging with it altogether, and we're trying to find moves that compromise, or rather, solve the problem without hopefully compromising it. But these are always compromises because the most natural and best looking move is castles. So you don't settle for rook c1 here until castles is proven wrong. which is exactly the process that you decided to not to deal with at all. Okay. And as a result of that, by the way, you got a far greater tactic in your face, which must have shocked you as much as it shocks me. But I see now that queen d to rook d8 is going to be quite a bit of mess. Now, did we consider here knight? Is this a move? Because if queen takes, I can bugger off with the queen. If the queen keeps on tagging the rook, I can go away with the tempo, by the way, and still guard the rook. So knight d1 looks to me like a very, very clever. That was a typical Australian way of pronouncing a word, clever. There's no R in there. You didn't see knight d1. That's a problem, because this position now is completely derailed in the sense that nothing is normal, nothing is regular. It's sharp and it's 100% tactics. It's a lot harder to see. I totally agree with you. But now you are forced to see it because it's like there is a fraud push to your knife. And when that is the situation, you cannot say to your attacker that, hold on a second, I haven't taken martial art lessons. Let's figure it out together. No, then you need to figure that shit out on your own. And so no excuses are acceptable that, oh, we haven't practiced this or I am a positional player. It's like, sorry, I'm going to slit your throat, so you better come up with something cool. And so you do. Because the knife is on it. And by the way, the other reason why it's a very, very strange thing to say that I didn't see this is because the move played in the game was rook b1. Which means that we have recognized that the queen couldn't move, and thus our only way out is as a counterpunch on the queen, which is doable by 3 moves. There are 3 legal chess moves that do it, of which one is immediately out of the equation because it hangs the knight. So I am almost questioning of how would you not think of knight d1 in the light that we actually did play rook b1. That makes no sense. By the way, isn't knight d5 a move too, by the way? Although that, I guess, leads to the same. Oh, why don't I have queen e3 here? Yeah, I know what you mean, but you see also my point, right? That this is do or die, and so you look at everything. Yeah, this is still totally fine. Yep. Ooh. This is a very, very complex position. This is not fun. This is not fun to play at all. Your opponent has assembled or gathered or luckily got access to a bucket load of counterplay here. I don't think that you meant castles, my friend. This is a laughable concept. This is about +10. No, that didn't stop you from castling. No. This would be the reason why you castled. Because this is total dog shit for black. No. What stopped you from castling, my friend, was this move. I would pay infinite amount of money for black to do this. Because this means end of attack, end of initiative, end of everything. I'm up a rock. That's exactly your problem, that you can't castle because of knight d2. Which is why I was looking at moves like bishop d3, but somehow it just doesn't feel right. Ooh, Jesus. Yeah, I don't like this position. I don't like this position. Very, very, very uncomfortable. Your engine tells you that you are winning after knight d2, by the way. which is to cover e4, to cover the second rank, and to cover the rook. So that after bishop d3 we can finally castle. To be perfectly honest, because of everything else is losing by force, it's actually not a difficult move to find. The difficult move to find is queen b4. I would never ever come up with this. Some of it, Jazz, not all of it. Some of it. Black is not down a piece, black is down a rook. But I don't think that knight d2 as a concept is IM level. Okay, so we went rook a1, knight c2, yeah. Knight c2, yeah, knight e4, yeah. Take, yeah, take, yeah. Yeah. Know that we can't take because of mate. Yeah. Yeah. Good moves. These are very good moves by both sides. Yep. And now is the golden opportunity when we can go FU, take, take, take. And now we are playing for 2 results. This was really, really well played, Mr. Diaz. Very good stuff. Now this is not losable. So that's brilliant news every time you have a game like this, that now we are only playing for 2 results. We're either going to win or not, as in or draw. This is a very interesting choice. I wouldn't have played it. Ah, okay. So I looked at knight f3, but... yeah, okay, never mind. I would have considered it, actually. Never mind. Bishop d5, yeah, knight g4, great. Okay, now you are more winning than ever before in this game. Now rook e7 and it's carnage. Yeah, good. And then rook c1. Yeah, very good. Knight c4. Yeah. Why not knight c4, bro? Isn't this forcing favorable trades? Okay. Yeah, the quality of the game has gone up immensely. Immensely. Why not f3? Hello? f3? I guess, yeah, okay, you know what? Whatever, I will let this slide. Same, roughly. Here is a cool idea here, guys, to play for a win. This is very difficult. You play rook f7, and then you play for h4, h5 to split the pawns. And if they play, let's say c5, h4, sorry, king b6, h4, and if they play h5 themselves, then now we have a target for eternity that we can go after. That was a difficult concept. Yeah-ish. No! Mate! The #1 rule of winning endgames. Trade pieces, not pawns. This is your insurance that you are gonna be able to win. Like, this is the worst possible idea you could ever play. Do not trade pawns. Ay. What you want, my friend, is a rook here. But have a look. And we're winning. Mind you, c5 was obviously a suicidal move, but you get the point. You want to pin, you want to attack the pawn, you want to trade these two off. This is literally the worst strategic misunderstanding I've seen in a long time in this game. Oh wow, and then they didn't take it, and then we took this. What are you doing, man? Oh, dude, this is a heartbreak. Brilliant endgame technique, and then like g4. When you're so close to winning the game. Oh, man. Oh la la! Ay 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 ay! Rook c7. Oh mate, that was an eyesore of a move. I mean, this is dead draw now. Why you would play rook e4 though is beyond me. Oh, I see. So it was a time trouble decision. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, this was a really fun and exciting game. That's for sure. That is for sure. Alright, I hope that Mr. Landau is still here. Oh. Because it's his game. And last one, by the way, for tonight. Against I am Bartel. Ooh, F3. Okay. Cheers, buddy. Muchas gracias, señor. Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Landau, I don't know theory here, but I thought that this knight had to come this way to shield the e-file and all that shit. I didn't think that you had time for this like in the King's Indian type of Benonis. Yeah, 2400 opponent and they play like 1-2, yeah. Yeah, I recall that this is some kind of theory, but I've never really, yeah, I've never really liked this story. Yeah, it is theory. It is theory all the way here, but I think it's bad theory. That's the problem. No, it's not. Like, you can play knight h3. I'm pretty sure that I have seen this played before, but yeah, as in it's not wrong, but better is knight e2. And I can guarantee you that there were, I can recognize this. There must have been, but this is with knight on e2. That's, yeah, that's it. If your knight was an e2 here, yeah, I get it now. You went into a line that you thought was theory without it being theory. It was vastly inferior. And one of the biggest issues is that you're going to get a knight on d4 in your face. But it's a playable position. This is a very nice move, guys. d5, very nice move. Idea being, take here, rook here, and bishop here, and we lose material. Thank you, Courtney. Have a good one if you gotta go. Fat fingers are very useful in different walks of life, by the way, so don't be apologetic about that. Oh, this is how the game went. Sheesh. I thought that we humbly pulled it back home here. Because now we have this. Oh, this is subtle. I didn't see this. And white is fine. OMG. In fact, it's not even over. Queen G5. Knight E4. Queen E3. Rook C1. Knight F3. And draw is agreed. Mr. Landau, it was an easy draw for the taking, buddy. I don't know how you didn't see this line. Super basic stuff. I mean, come on, man. Seriously. What part of it was not obvious? I'm joking, for the record. For the record, I'm joking. Can I look at knight G3? I certainly can, but tell me which position. Oh, here knight G3. Yeah, I think you should have gone here, though. Because here, this is a bit annoying with queen E3 to come. Whereas if you go to knight C3, then this is on. You definitely want to go to C3. Yeah, D5 was a lovely move. It is a lovely move. And really, that's the first move you look at. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, but knight C3 is very, very instructive to hit the pawn here. Yeah, but I don't think that's my point, that here queen E3 is not forced. They play bishop C2 first. What do you do now? I think black here just builds. Like, this is not necessarily the next move I want to play. For example, the engine tells you here that after rook c1 just play a5. And just gain space, and squeeze. And you don't have productive moves. Like, everything feels paralyzed. Which is always a hard concept to play for. You are right that queen e3 here is not good because of knight f1, although even here you are struggling to find a move. But definitely preferable to come here, and best is this. Your opponent played an exceptionally good game. Like, this is very impressive chess by black. Very, very impressive. I reckon black is at least 95. At least 95 in this game. Ha! Hello? Dude, I know what I'm talking about. Check this out. Mr. Landau is 2030. No, even for an IM, this was exceptionally good level chess. Exceptionally good level chess. This was off the charts good chess. Yeah, knight h3 was no bueno, friend. You are right. Knight h3 was definitely no bueno. It was played only in 4 Masters games, and 3 of them were won by black. So yeah. But the irony is I'm just looking at the eChess database now. The main line with 92 is quite similar to the game. Like after d6, you're meant to play knight here, and then after b5, it kind of transposes. Bishop here, take, 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 take. And this is also really not that great for white. Better than a game though, I reckon. Castles, knight c6, take, take, and maybe bishop f4. Yeah, somewhat playable. Oh, look, to be honest with you, buddy, I'm not saying that you should play my opening recommendations at all, although I think it's very simple and very, very handy. But the F3 Nimzo is typically something that I don't think is a good approach to play when you are playing up a lot, because it invites a lot of incredibly complex positions where you can easily get out-calculated. If you like the F3 Nimzo, you should be playing it with the E3 move order, I reckon. You know what I mean? Like, play E3, and then depending on what line they play, you can still get into F3 Nimzo structures. For example, here, right? Like, you can still play these F3 ideas if that's what you want to do. But E3 allows you so many more structures. And here too, A3, take, take, C5, and then after 92 you're back in territories that are very akin to the F3 lines. So I think you have got a very easy transition to E3 Nimzos, which I think are more practical to play for someone like you. No. It's totally playable. Absolutely, completely fine. But it's a very quirky, weird line. It's a fair bit of theory there too. And typically stuff that Nimzo players enjoy playing against. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. But E3, in my opinion, is so much more fun, easier to master, easier to learn, so many more practical examples. Like, you have the Sokolov pawn structure game covers this like to absolute perfection and then some. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we had time for today. Thank you very much for the support, the love, and everything else I received today. Take care, lovely humans. I may stream tomorrow. We will see how we go. Love you all. Take care. Watch YouTube. And don't forget to check out my video on Chess Vibes channel. Go to Chess Vibes. His series is dropping now, where I'm analyzing his games. Go and check it out. Boyers.